Hello everyone and welcome to Cameras and Coffee, and you may have heard me say at some point in the past on this series that film photography has no future unless someone develops a new shutter. So to the folks at Intrepid, I am really glad I get to back that Kickstarter. But first, as you can probably tell from my clothes, I'm just recording this right after the one I did, the K33 video. This is still the Carabesset Coffee Company morning blend. Still pretty good blend. All right, let's talk about the new Intrepid Kickstarter. I had sworn off Kickstarters, and then Intrepid went and released one. So after the whole Thingify issue, I was like, I'm done with Kickstarter. But I trust Intrepid. I am not suggesting you guys, if you have any concerns or have not yet necessarily go out and back this campaign. It has made its funding goal, so it will happen. But I chose to because Intrepid has launched, this is their 5th campaign. They got their start on Kickstarter, and to the best of my knowledge, they've fulfilled every one of their campaigns just fine. So they've also now been around 10 years. So at any rate, I've said multiple times on this channel that film photography needs shutters, and it needs, and so that is the biggest news about what Intrepid has released to me. Their campaign is for multiple different things. You can get the lens. If you have a spare Copal Zero shutter sitting around, you can put this new 150mm f6.3 lens into a standard Copal Zero shutter and use it, okay? Even though Seiko SLV shutters have the same lens board hole size as Copal Zeros, I believe they have a different throat length, and I think it's longer than Copal Zero, and I think it will throw off the focus, the light ray of movement through the lens. So I don't think a Seiko SLV shutter is directly interchangeable with Copal Zero, but if somebody has information that disputes that, they'll put it in the comments section. So Copal Zero shutter will work, and then Intrepid also released their electronic shutter with an electronic control with an LCD display on it. It's in the campaign phase still. That meets the standard Copal Zero specs. So really good on Intrepid for sticking with established specs when it came to developing their shutter, because that makes it more universally compatible. That also means that if you have an old lens sitting around in a dead Copal Zero shutter, you can take it out of that, put it into this shutter, and use it again, right? That's, I think, a really fantastic thing. So I'm glad to see that Intrepid has done that. Also, having the controls and having it looks really slick. You dial the controls in on the keypad, and then the aperture on the lens opens and shuts. And I don't recall the shutter speeds that are available, if it's one of them or many. I was just very excited about the shutter itself, the campaign. So you can get the lens elements, just the shutter with the lens, or the shutter and the lens combo with one of their 4x5 Mark V cameras. I think it's about $12 US more expensive to back the Kickstarter campaign and get their Mark V camera than it is just to buy their Mark V camera off the website. Something to think about if you're looking at that. 12 bucks isn't that much money, but it's, you know, might be shipping costs or some part of it anyway. At any rate, so I did back the Kickstarter campaign, and I am really looking forward to testing out that lens and shutter when they arrive. I'm very optimistic that Intrepid has the business in place to get this done and to get it delivered. So I am looking forward to doing a full review on that lens and shutter at some point after they arrive. And of course, once I get them, we'll talk about them here on the channel. What I think this really indicates about the future of film photography is super positive, because getting new lenses and new shutters, especially for large format, will help preserve large format photography. And if you think back over the course of this series, back to the very beginning of it, I've said large format is really a major place where there is a future for film photography, because that's a place where the cameras can be manufactured in a more cost-effective manner, and with more simplicity so that they can be repaired and things like that. People can theoretically make their own. So if I were to look forward into the future 10 to 20 years for film photography, I could see a future where sheet film photography increases its market share, but roll film photography and cassette film photography like 35 millimeter decrease their market share relative to sheet film. So I think this is a really good step in that direction. I also really hope that this means that Intrepid is developing like a Copal 1, Copal 3, or other standard size shutters for 4x5 and their 8x10 cameras as well. I think that could be a really promising line of products for them. So that's what I got. I'm really excited about this. I think that also, by the way, using a triplet design lens is a really good first step into lens design because they're pretty simple. The formulae are really well known, not too challenging to manufacture and put together. So really, really good choice on their part for the way to go about this campaign. Thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the next Cameras and Coffee video. Steinbeck, what is that? What is this? Oh, do you want a belly rub? Okay, I'll give you a belly rub. You're a good pup.